I've had a few attempts at making bronze out of copper and tin before. None of them have really been successful. I think I might have something that is bronze right here, but I'll explain the process to you. I started off just with some copper in a crucible, clay graphite crucible, and used my forge to, of course, heat it up. I put packed coal around the outside of the crucible. I let it sit for a while. The coal releases a tar, solidifies, created a shell sort of around my crucible. It smokes a lot, burning off the impurities. And then when I thought it was ready, I tried to chop up the now solidified shell to increase the surface area and the flow of air through the coal. Still trying to keep it pushed up against the sides of the crucible so that it's not exposed to the air, where the air will just draw away the heat. I did end up getting a little bit of liquid copper in the bottom of the crucible. Maybe I should have let it sit a little longer because there were some unmelted pieces. But when I did take it out and cast it, I got a piece that looks like this. And when I tried to hammer it down flat, it shattered, and I only recovered 3 of the pieces. After that, I went off to the side and tried to pour out the rest of the contents on the ground, and this little drop came out of it. And I broke off a piece to try to cold work it to see if it would shatter like the other one. And so far it's going well. I'd like to see what else I can do to this other sample that really I thought should have been the same because it came out of the same batch. You see that there's also some coal that is in the crucible. That was intentional, actually. The coal helps to keep the copper from oxidizing while it's under the extreme heat. The coal will oxidize instead of the copper in this case. I also added a little bit of tin right at the end, which is why it's copper and not bronze. Why it's bronze and not copper. The reason I didn't add the tin at the beginning was because it would have melted very early. It has a very low melting point, and it would have just been sitting there oxidizing the whole time. And so that's why I decided to add it in at the very end. I still don't understand why I'm seeing 2 different colors out of the drop and out of the initial casting. The initial casting was hard, brittle, and silver, and this drop here is softer and looks more like the bronze I was intending to make. I can't really explain it, but I guess I'll keep playing around with it to see what properties I'm getting out of this mystery metal. This stuff is really soft, not seeing any shattering at all. And it's flattening well, seems malleable. I want to see what else I can do to it. So bronze is a combination of 2 very soft metals. Copper and tin are both very soft, but when you combine them in the right ratios, then it becomes a lot harder, which is why bronze is so useful. At least it was earlier, before steel was available. This, I'm not sure what the composition is. It feels a little bit softer than maybe what I expected the bronze to be, but that's why I'll need to do some more testing on it to see what I actually have here. Well, we're going to keep experimenting on this. Hope you enjoyed the video and my just another attempt to try to make this cool metal. This is after some pounding and then some sanding. You can see that really brings out the gold color. Here's some silver. You can see the difference there. I think it could have been a little more gold, but I'm glad to at least have gotten this out of it. And I'll keep playing around with it to see what other properties it has. Maybe I'll try to determine its composition.